We knew we had to win, obviously, coming into this week and this day. And when the weekend started, I thought we had the opportunity to do that. We had very, very fast cars at Daytona and Talladega here in the past 3 restrictor plate races, and really didn't get any of the results we thought we're capable of. With I think I restarted second in the 500 in the last restart and whiffed on winning the Daytona 500, and I still have some nightmares about that one. And then Talladega, just kind of I fell into every bit of chaos possible here in the spring, and then the Daytona race in July, just wrong place, wrong time. And in the back of my mind, those 3 races that we had so much speed at and no results to show for it made me feel like we were due. And I told everybody, well, not everybody, but I told Roger and Ford and guys like Paul and my spotter Joey Meyer that I felt we were going to win today because of that. The yell came out and kind of trapped us behind a lot of cars we were going to be in front of, and we ended up restarting 16th or something like that with 10 to go, and that felt like a death sentence in itself. But we kept our composure. I worked really well with my teammates Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney, and made kind of the perfect move that nobody ever sees when they think about these races. We made kind of the perfect move together to go from 16th to 2nd with, I think, in 3 or 4 laps there. That put us in position to really capitalize on the last 2 yellows. And from there we did just that. So we positioned ourselves well with great teamwork, executed the restarts kind of off those lessons learned from Daytona. And, from there it was all about that last lap and choosing the lanes wisely to be able to block the cars that had runs. And all that came together perfectly. So, I kind of feel like Hannibal here. I love when a plan comes together. Dale Jr. is a phenomenal plate racer, one of the best ever. So for him to lead a bunch of laps and be up front would probably be the case no matter what the system is. And I would say, in a very similar nature, Matt's a really good plate racer as well. So under any system, I would say those 2 guys you expect to lead laps and finish up front, barring accidents. But I felt like Jimmy found another level today for sure and ran a really, really great race. It's probably the best plate race I've seen him run. The trophy will put on there, and they'll put a plaque on it. It'll say Brad Keselowski, and that means something to me. Don't get me wrong, but this is not a one-person sport, and a lot of people think of it that way, but I personally don't. It's in some ways, or on some days, mildly insulting to me that it's considered that. The trophy should say Team Penske on it. Sometimes there's going to be some uncomfortable moments, and certainly there were some uncomfortable moments this week. There's been some uncomfortable moments in the past. I hope that there's not any more uncomfortable moments in the future, but there probably will be. And until that cycles, in my own eyes, until that cycles and the drivers that kind of have the old guard feel from the late 90s and early 2000s are still around, or aren't around, I should say, then that will probably continue to be the case. And I've took in some ways solace upon that. Well, I think we're in a really good spot for these next 4 races, but we've got to still execute. We've tested at 2 out of the next, or we're going to have tested at 3 out of the next 4 races, 2 in the next bracket with Texas and Martinsville. And we have a Homestead test, I think, in 2 weeks, week and a half, something like that. We're in a very good position. It'd be nice to go to Martinsville and win, get a grandfather clock, and have 3 weeks to really think about Homestead. And that's my mentality moving forward. But if that doesn't happen, we still have any one of these 4 tracks, which I think are good tracks for us.